Welcome back.
Hey, we still look like crap, and
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about
actually,
kid sizes.
these episodes are going out in reverse order. So this is the first week you're seeing us look like shit. Tune in next week for more.
It's really just the same day.
It's the same day for us, but it's
Tune
going
in
out two
for
different
more
weeks.
looking like crap. We are moms, uneffing filtered.
We still have Victor here for ambiance. He's hanging out.
Why
He's
does Victor have a dress on?
he's I don't know. He's very progressive.
Hmm.
Well, he needed clothes, and the dress fits him and not my fat ass anymore. So it's fine. So don't repeat what mommy said.
And since we're talking kid sizes, don't refer to your fat ass in front of your kids. It's probably not good for body image.
Yeah, don't say self-deprecating things in front of your kids. I'm saying it jokingly, even though, yes, I am much heavier than I would like to be at the moment, but I had a baby. I had two babies back to back, so it is what it is. Um, yeah, I was being funny, but yeah, don't
I'm just saying.
self-deprecate.
It was just like a tip, like because we do that, like sometimes we forget, like little kids are always listening.
And yeah, they will when you're like, "Oh my god, my stretch marks or whatever." So
Right?
don't do that.
No, don't. I don't.
Negative self-talk, not great.
It's not great.
And so like this little
Sometimes I don't like positive self-talk though, because Paige used to get really pissed off about having a hot mom, which today maybe you can't see that, but I was.
at one point in
At one
time.
point in time, I was a hot mom.
So I think with that it's a little off topic. I know we're already going on a tangent,
On a tangent,
but
we love a tangent.
how do you feel about the people who do like the affirmations with their kids?
Give me an example.
So like the one that immediately comes to mind was from that movie The Help, but there's other ones. But they're like, you are kind, you are smart.
No, I like that because I think it's very. So I think like when your kid is being naughty, I think it's good to like tell them they're good kids. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that because you're such a good kid and you're kind and it. Yeah. But I like to use it to shame them. I don't know if it's an affirmation.
Well, so like I saw somebody talking about that with raising boys, and he was talking about like give them jobs to do, give them things that they can feel strong. And this lady got like all salty about it 'cause she's like, "Well, you should be teaching them to be active members of the household, not just giving them menial tasks and whatever." She had a whole thing to say about it. What I will say, boys want to be strong. They do. So like my 2-year-old, I'll be bringing in the basket of eggs, and I'll go, "Oh baby, it's so heavy. Can you carry this for me?" And he loves to help, so he's like, "I'm strong," and he grabs the basket and he runs in and he feels good about himself.
Right.
So
But he wants to not be strong like Baka.
he wants to be strong like Moo. He wants to be big like Baka, but
He wants to be
strong
big
like
like
Moo.
Baka, but strong like Mumu. That melted my heart.
Yeah, that was so cute.
Yeah. Because Mumu is pretty damn strong.
Because my husband,
Not as strong as Baka, though. But I think he doesn't know that yet.
I love my husband, but he will be the first to admit he's not a big guy. Like we're about the same height. He weighs a little less than I do because I'm a little bit on the bigger side right now. But um, he'll be the first to admit he's not a very big man. So he was telling our son, you gotta rest and sleep so you can get big and strong like Baka. And he goes, strong like Mumu. So
I think that's just because he sees Mumu work out a lot.
yeah. Um, so yeah, in terms of kid size, so this was brought up to me by another mom as a show topic. But I have really little kids. Like my kids are dinky. And we were at a restaurant when my daughter was 3, 4 months old, maybe. And this lady was like all excited. She's like, "Oh, how old is she? My son's like around the same age." And she said something about her son being like 17 pounds or something, like a fairly big baby. And I was like, "Yeah, she's only like 10 pounds or whatever. Like she started really small. She's still really small." And the lady got really mad at me. Like, because she said, "Oh, it makes sense if she was a preemie." Like, well, she wasn't a preemie. She was on time. And the lady's like, "Well, all babies are different," like really angrily, and stormed off. And like, no shade to her because I understand postpartum hormones.
Well, and maybe people said stupid crap about her kid's size. So
Yeah.
she was like projecting a little bit because she's been judged.
So, like, they talk about the, like, normal for a newborn is like 7, 8 pounds ish. But, like, newborns, if they're not premature, normal can be anywhere from like 5 to, I saw recently a baby who was like 13 pounds or something at birth.
It's a big baby.
Is a big baby. But they come in all ranges of sizes in the realm of, like, some would be considered exceptionally large. My kids were
Well,
very small.
and the thing is that it's not necessarily an indication of what they're going to be like as adults anyway.
It's not even an indication of what they're going to be like in 2 years.
No,
Because
it's really not.
Henry, when he was born, was in the fourth percentile for weight. I think like the 15th for height. By the time he turned 2, he was in like the 50th for weight and like the 87th for height.
Yeah, and Paige
So,
was always pretty small and tall and skinny. She stayed that way for most of her life, and even still now, like she has more weight on her now, but she's heading toward middle age. But by more weight, I mean like probably at a normal weight now. But so I would have to hear about it all the time. Every parent teacher conference, they implied that she was anorexic,
hmm,
like every single one of them. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to discuss my kid with you with that because it's none of your damn business. But really tired of hearing about it because she was just really literally born that way, and that's just the way she was. She was into adulthood before she finally hit 100 pounds, and she's my height. So
yeah.
it's
And
it's just the way she was. You were pretty small too, but you got you were always pretty tall and skinny too, but more in the normal range than your sister was as far as weight wise.
yeah, so I think with kids, especially with babies, it's very rare that a baby is actually too fat. So if you have a bigger baby, like, there's no shame in that.
Oh no, and we had a nephew that looked like the Michelin tire man. Like he was such a fat baby, like a super fat baby. Like I can't even like I have never seen such a fat baby in all of my life with these tiny feet, like with ankle rolls. And he's just a normal sized kid now.
Yeah.
Like he just was a fat baby, and it wasn't like he ate more than the average baby or anything. He just was a chubby baby.
Well, and I've heard people say that too, because I see the people who are like, look at this is what however many months of breast milk did to my baby, and they show these like chunky babies. My kids are skinny. They're very skinny babies. Both of them ate plenty of breast milk, table food, all that jazz. They're just skinny kids. So
Right.
I'm not shaming the mom with the chunky baby. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of your breastfeeding achievement because I understand breastfeeding is hard. Um,
But
but
that might not be why your baby's chunky. Maybe your kid is just a chunky baby.
right, maybe you just have chunky babies.
Right.
It happens.
Which is good. I mean, I don't. I never stressed about that stuff very much. Other people stressed about it for me all the time, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, they're fine.
Well, and I think with kids and their weight, especially in babies, because that seems to be like that first year really
Everybody freaks out about everything.
everybody freaks out about everything. You're so worried about it. If you're breastfeeding, you're worried like, is my baby not getting enough? Is it getting too much? And if your kid is growing and not shrinking, it's usually a good sign. Now, there can be concerns. So, like Ava, around 3, 4 months old,
I keep yawning.
it's okay.
I'm very tired.
She started sleeping through the night, like 3 or 4 months old, and she dropped off her growth curve, like majorly. So she was still growing, but not at the rate that was normal for her. So I actually had to start waking her up again at night to feed her, and that fixed it pretty quickly. But for the most part, as long as they're still growing, like, their curve is their curve. Is if they're staying around it, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I would have never woke you or your sister up to feed you.
Yeah, I only woke her up once at night to feed her because I can't do more. I'm too tired.
I wouldn't have done that. I'm glad I didn't know shit because I slept really good.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying I recommend that, but I did have a lot more peace than most new moms these days.
well, and kids too are all going to be so different, even among, 2 kids in the same household. So,
Yeah.
like, a woman I go to church with, her son's a couple months older than Ava, and she was telling me around like 6 months old, he was still waking up like 4 times a night to eat.
I never woke up. No.
I
Oh,
mean,
hell to the no.
yeah, she's like, he's still eating like every 2 hours,
God,
all around the
God,
clock. I'm
no.
like,
Oh, hell no. I,
I'm so
mm-mm.
glad my kids both really value their nighttime sleep,
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't, no,
but I
no.
mean, those are all like variations of normal as much as they suck. And I mean, at 6 months old, you can
I
look into
mean,
sleep
maybe
training.
that's normal, but
Yeah. So I think
mm-mm.
people
No.
get really bunched up about size. They do.
They do.
And
They get bunched up about size and how much the damn kids are eating. Like, everybody's always trying to shove more food in kids' mouths all the time. It's like, please remember, their bellies aren't that big.
and here's the thing with kids. The average kid, barring any sort of weird medical thing that is
Right.
aside, if you have a normal, healthy kid, they know when they're full. They
Yeah.
know when to stop eating.
Yeah, don't do that to them. Don't make them not have that.
They might not always know the best choices because kids are very I want what I want and I want it now. So like if my kid had free reign, he would only eat enough marshmallows to be full, but he would eat nothing but marshmallows. So like if there's something like that where you don't want your kid eating it all the time, don't make it accessible to them. So like if he wants a marshmallow, he has to ask for it and I have to get it. But if he wants an apple, some grapes, some blueberries, they're right there. He can help himself. So,
I just, I don't know. I think everybody just freaks out about it. Like, everybody's so. So, you don't want your kids to be obsessed with food, and then everybody's obsessed with what the kid is eating. So, your kid's going to grow up and be obsessed with food one way or the other. So, just stop it.
yeah, and
Like, just calm down about it.
it can backfire so quickly. So, like I think we've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like food should really be neutral.
Yeah.
And like don't freak out over your kid size. Kids come in all shapes and sizes and they're all fine. So, and quite frankly, quit sticking your nose in other people's business because quit
Yes.
judging other moms for the size of their kid
Yes.
because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's up with that kid or what's normal or it's
Yeah,
not
no,
your
people
kid.
would say that shit to me all the you know, about Paige being small. I was accused of neglecting her. I'm like, that's right. I only feed one of my kids. The other one, I make her starve. Or, or they would say stuff directly to her. And I don't mean other children. I mean adults. Like, remember at the pool, that lady was like, God, do you ever eat? And I was like, she said it to my kid. And Paige was very self conscious about being skinny because people were always saying stupid shit. And this was an adult woman. And I was ready to come up off that chair that I was sunbathing in to like beat a little ass at the pool. And Paige was like, nah, you eat enough for both of us. And I was like, never mind. She's got it.
And so like I've seen this trend of people like teaching their kids that, it's not polite to comment on other people's bodies. And I think that's great. But it shouldn't just be kids taking away that message. Quit commenting on other people's bodies. It's not your body, it's not your child.
Right.
So just knock it off.
And you don't know anything about whatever the situation is. So,
And even a remark that might seem harmless, like somebody remarked when we were out on Saturday that Henry's really big for his age.
okay.
And I'm like, I mean, thankfully we don't have any concerns, but like I could totally see a mom freaking out about that. Like, oh, they're saying my kid's really big and now I got to be freaked out that he's, too big.
Well, I think if you have a child who doesn't fit into the average for height or weight, whether it's on one side or the other, you've heard all this crap before and you kind of get sick of hearing it. So even if somebody makes a comment that they're really not meaning anything, but you're just so sick of hearing it. So how about like you have a really cute kid or you have a really well-behaved kid or just say nothing about the kid at all? Like people would welcome that because with Paige, because she was unusually skinny for most of her life, just if somebody complimented me on her, they always had to bring up her size. Like nothing was ever said about her without her size being mentioned. And it's like, you know what? Her size is like such a small part of who she is as a person that, it's detrimental.
Well, and I know from a few moms I've talked to who had kids who were born with like growth restrictions, who felt guilty, like it was their fault that their kid had a growth restriction in utero, which it's not your fault. I don't care what the extenuating circumstances are that happened. You didn't directly cause your kid to be growth restricted. But I know for those moms who put a lot of blame on themselves for their kids being small, hearing somebody go, "Oh, your baby's so cute and little," they're thinking, "Oh my God, my baby's not eating enough. I'm still failing my child." And you're not.
And if you have I mean, and I can't relate. I did not have a baby that was bigger, but my granddaughter is bigger than, which is funny because they said she had failure to thrive and she was way too little. So everybody was force feeding her all the time. Now she's like a ginormous kid. Like she's way taller than for her age. She looks way older than her age. She's a little, chubbier than her age. Uh, and it's like now, so people used to talk about her being too small, and now they talk about her being so big, and it's like, just stop, just leave the kid alone and let her be a child.
Yeah. I mean, that's really
And I don't know what I keep doing to myself here.
like when it comes to the size of kids, just let them be kids.
Yeah.
Like, if your kid has an issue where they're eating way too much, or they've got like, what is it, the avoidant restrictive whatever thing where they can only eat certain foods, um, just one, you got to do what you can. Two, like, you're doing your best. But
And other people who are not in the situation, just maybe keep your comments to yourself. Like comment to somebody else after you leave. If you must be a twinkle twat and say something about it.
twinkle thought.
You don't need to say it to that poor mom who's dealing with enough crap.
Well, don't say it to the mom, and especially don't say it in front of the child. Like, way to give somebody a complex.
Yeah, no kid wants their differences pointed out. Because,
And,
I mean, they have, especially as little children, they have a huge need to belong and not feel like they are other than.
well, and like with Paige, everyone always commented on how she was so skinny. And I, as a kid, was like, well, if she's super skinny, then I'm super fat.
Which, and Paige called you fat, to be fair, because in her mind, Lauren was fat, which by no means was she a fat child. She was on the skinny side, too.
But I mean, I remember for years being like, yeah, I'm fat because I wanted to do figure skating. And I was like, well, I'm too fat to be a figure skater because you can't be a fat figure skater, which we know now you can. There are, bigger figure skaters out there. But at the time, this was
I
early
figure
2000s.
skated and I was bigger than you guys as a child. Not much because grandma also had small children, but
Yeah, but it was one of those things like, the professional figure skaters, they got to be so thin. So I was
yeah.
like, well, I'm too fat for that. I'm not going to pursue that passion. But it's one of those things. You think you're just saying a comment offhand, but there's such a domino effect of people that it's impacting when you say these things.
Right. So just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
And like, let's
And
be
if you're worried
honest,
about your child, talk to the doctor
talk to their pediatrician.
and
If,
then probably just try to take a breath because they'll probably be fine.
yeah, I think a lot of people get really bunged up about it, and it's not, it's fine.
Every kid ever born in our family has been accused of being too effing small. So
Yes.
I've heard it so many times at this point that they're like, oh, the kid's small. I'm like, yeah, they'll be fine. Because they
Yeah.
will.
And that's why, like, I don't worry about it. My husband gets a little bunged up about, like,
Well, he has
he's
issues.
got his own issues, but so, like, our toddler doesn't want to sit at the table during meals. He's 2.5. He's busy, and he doesn't, like, half the time, by the time we're eating dinner, he's already eaten, like, 18 snacks. My husband will be like, well, you need to sit down and eat. I'm like, how about he just sits down so he's not being a nuisance while we're eating? He doesn't have to eat, but, you know. If the issue is that he's being a lunatic, if he's not at the table and getting into trouble, then he can stay at the table. But you shouldn't force your kids to
Like,
eat.
forcing a kid to eat is the surest way to a future eating disorder.
Absolutely.
So don't do that. Don't negotiate with them to eat. Just quit making eating stressful.
Yeah.
Because if you're being stressed about what they're eating or not eating, I promise you, you're stressing that child out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I dealt with food stress as a child, and it's not good.
Well, and I saw somebody talking about that today with babies like refusing to eat. She's like, you go to nurse them or you give them the bottle and they turn their head away and they cry. She's like, there's a lot of reasons. She's like, sometimes they're too tired and they just don't want to eat. And that's going to be a suckier nap because they're going to wake up hungry. But they don't need food in that moment. And the more you try to force it, the more avoidant they will be in the future.
Right.
So, if it works for babies,
You just don't want your child to have anxiety every time it's a meal time
Yeah.
because it's really terrible. Because I had that anxiety and I made sure, like, I worked very hard for my children not to because it will really mess with your relationship with food. Could be for a lifetime for people, for some people.
Well, and be the advocate for your child. Because at grandma's house, we clean our plate. And no, at grandma's house, you eat until you're full, or, if you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. Because you never did that to us, like in terms of trying to force us to finish our plates. But I know other family members, we would be there and they'd be like, well, you
I
have
put a
to.
fucking stop to that real quick, didn't I?
Right. So, like, be the advocate for your child. So when grandma's like, or grandpa or Aunt
Whomever.
Joe, whoever, you know, be the advocate to say, like, you know, their body's telling them they're full. I think they're full.
Yeah, I wasn't even that nice about it. I'm like, you're not their mom.
Yeah.
And that's not how I do things. So you
Yeah.
can just be that way too. I mean, maybe not. Maybe most people aren't that way.
And I mean,
I am that way though.
I've been that way with my husband. Not in front of the children, because I don't believe in having conversations like that in front of children. But like behind closed doors, I was like, I know this is what you want. I know this is how you were raised. I'm like, but this is how I was raised, and I have a very good relationship with food.
So
So,
that makes me feel good.
like, we're going to do it my way because there's science to back up my way.
Right. Well, and I mean, yeah. Just it's just so there's so much drama in life that you can't avoid. This is one thing you can avoid. So please avoid it. And your kid is not going to starve themselves to death. And I know you feel like they're going to. I really, really do. Again, I had an extremely skinny child who really was weird with the eating. And I worried that she would starve herself to death. She has not starved to death. She's going to be 31. Or she is 31.
She's going to be 32.
Oh, Lord. We are getting so old.
Yeah.
And then
So-
they get old and you don't even remember what the hell they ate back then anyway.
Well, and I saw this like trend of when you're complimenting your kids to compliment them on more than just like physical attributes. And I think that's great, but don't skip complimenting the physical attributes either.
Yeah, because I saw that. Like, you should never compliment, or you should never, like, comment on anything physical. I'm like, why?
Right. Like telling your kid they're a cute kid, or you have a nice smile, or you have pretty hair. Because then they just intrinsically believe, like, yeah, I'm pretty. And then when they inevitably go to school or somewhere out in public and somebody's being an a hole, as kids do, and they're like, oh, you're ugly for whatever reason, you're like, yeah, no, I'm not.
Right. Because, so as a girl, like, you're either going to get called fat or ugly. Like, that's pretty much the go-to when girls are insulting other girls, or boys insult girls. They do that.
Or a whore.
Well, later a whore, but when they're that little, they don't really know
Yeah,
what
like
that is.
very little. Yeah.
And I'm a grown woman in my 50s, and boys do this on the internet even. And that, because that's the arrogant of men and boys. They think their opinion of your appearance would affect your day one iota. But they still think that there's power in that. But there's really not. But there's not, because I am a very confident person, and I always was. Like, I always was. And it's not because, well, they did call me the pretty one, but then they did. I like grew up being told I was the pretty one, and I was. But they also criticized my looks a lot. Like, I was very scrutinized for any, like, if I put on a pound, it was like a national incident. But my cousins, I don't think they would have ever said boo about, so it was like this weird contradictory thing. But when I got into school, and like when inevitably somebody did say something like that to me, I was like, whatever.
Right.
Because I just knew that it wasn't true.
So, like, build that confidence in your kid so they know, like, look, not everyone's going to be the most attractive being to walk the earth. I'm not the most attractive being to walk the earth. But I have enough confidence in myself that when somebody goes...
And you don't have to be enough confidence that you don't have to be the most attractive person.
Right. I don't care if I'm not the most attractive person in the world, in
like,
the room,
good
in the
enough.
group. Right. Good enough. But your kids, you want them to have the confidence that, like, it doesn't matter what little Tiffany's gonna say about him. Sorry if you're
Right.
a Tiffany listening to this, no shade, but
Right. Whatever somebody says about you, and yeah, you want your kid to be confident in the way that they look, and also know that like it's fine if somebody else doesn't think you're attractive. It doesn't matter.
yeah, I blew that right at the
Right
camera.
at the
I'm
camera.
sorry.
We are not professional people, even a little bit. And I look like I'm high, but I promise you I'm not. I'm just really tired.
Yeah, I'm
My leg burnt
exhausted.
all night, and I got no sleep because my leg was burning
Yeah.
and cramping.
Um. So yeah, don't judge other people's kids.
No,
Don't be a dick. Don't
don't be.
comment on it. And away from kid size, but back to like not commenting on bodies. For the love of God, do not comment on a woman's body after she's had a baby or while she's pregnant.
Unless you want to say something nice.
Unless you want to say something nice, but like I know people who didn't have much of a bump who got offended because somebody was like, "Oh my God, you barely look pregnant," because they felt bad, like I should look pregnant. And then there was me who looked like a circus tent anytime I put on a dress, and people would be like, "Oh my God, is it twins?" No, I'm just fat, Jenny. I don't know why I went for Jenny there, but
Oh my goodness. And here's the thing too. Like I was fat AF when I was pregnant, like so much so. And now people like say stuff about me being too skinny. So
I'm
it's
just,
it's just temporary. Who cares?
and we've said it before, and I'll say it one more time. It doesn't matter when you're pregnant. It's not the time to worry about your weight. Within the first year after having the baby, it is not the time to worry about your weight.
I
Just,
agree.
you're in survival mode. Just survive.
Just survive. It's fine.
You don't have to be the gym mom who's going back to get her six pack, 2 months postpartum or whatever. It's fine.
And you have your whole life. I mean, because I was pretty chubby for. I mean, you were probably like maybe kindergarten before I even gave a crap again.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I really did get fat. That's a bummer. It's like, I guess I'll do something about it now. My kids are in school.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like there's a season for everything, and bodies change, people change. So,
And if somebody's being a crap ass to you about it, like their opinion really, like, ask yourself, is it a person whose opinion should matter to you? And like, I know it stings when somebody, especially when you've gotten heavy and somebody makes a heavy comment. Because remember that when, I don't remember who it was that I was waitressing with that said something really nasty about me being fat. And it was on my birthday. And I was fat and it was my birthday. And I am a very confident woman. And I did not cry publicly, but man, it was near. And
yeah.
if I would have cried over that, I would have had to kill her because I wouldn't want people to know that. But yeah, it cuts. But then you have to just think to yourself, like, who is that person? Is it anybody whose opinion should matter? Probably not. It's
Well,
probably just some jerk.
and why are they making that comment? Because a
Mm.
lot of times those comments about other people come from
Well,
somebody
it was a really,
projecting their own
it was,
insecurity.
it was a fat lady who said that to me.
Yeah.
She said something about my butt being fat, and she has a huge butt. Not that I've ever said that to her, and I still to this day have not said that to her, even though she was nasty and mean to me. I have since lost weight, look great, whatever, and she still looks like that. And she has apologized to me since then, like, oh, and you look great now, and I'm like, I looked great then. Like there was just no reason to say that to me, and whatever.
Well, and I've seen the other one. You're not fat, you're beautiful. Like, fat and beautiful are not mutually exclusive.
Right, two things can be true.
You can be fat and beautiful,
Because
and
I was
that's
fat and
okay.
beautiful
Like,
when I was fat.
I mean, I think for your own health, and when especially you have children, you should, try to be healthy, and carrying excess weight is not necessarily healthy. But it's okay to have periods of life, seasons of life where that's not your focus, is losing weight.
And here's the thing: you are not worth less because you're heavier. You're just not. You're just in a different housing right now. The woman within there is still the same woman, and it it's. I like being healthy. I like being in shape and all of that, and I work really hard on that. Yes, okay, it's important to me, but it hasn't improved my life. Like, is my health like overall? My health. I'm sure is better now at my age because I've been living that lifestyle for a very long time. So that is one thing that living that lifestyle that I chose to live that many years ago and stuck with is a good thing that happened. But I didn't get a better marriage out of it. I didn't get more friends out of it. You know what I mean? Like my life in those ways didn't, I was still the same person and I'm still the same person now, not as heavy. So all of those things were still the same. So you're not worth less because you're heavier. For your health in the future, yeah, make healthier choices. When you're ready, when you can mentally deal with that. But if you're not in that place because you're dealing with little kids and you just can't deal with that right now, then that's fine.
Well, and if you have a kid who's naturally on the bigger end or naturally on the smaller end, that's also not a reflection of your parenting
No,
or your success as a mother
no,
because you have a very small child or a much larger child.
right,
They're just variations of normal.
right.
So take a breath. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah. Be nice to yourself.
Be
And
nice
if
to
somebody
yourself.
insults you, just consider the source. They're probably a jackass.
Yeah. Or they don't actually care anything about how you look, but they disagree with something you said, so they're just attacking you personally. Because I've
Yeah.
had that too.
Oh, for sure. For
And
sure. And it's always men. Well, no, it's not. It's women too. But like men, man, they would go for the jugular with the looks every time.
yeah, I had some dude comment about my forehead being too big, and I was like, yeah, I got a big forehead. Whatever.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's considered a big forehead, but like
It
I also
is?
got some postpartum hair loss, so it looks worse, and
Mm.
I'm blonde.
Well, I just recently had a guy mention my age. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm old.
Yeah.
It's kind of a goal. That's sort of what we're all going for, isn't
Well,
it?
some dude said I looked stupid because I had my lips pierced. I'm like, well, it's a good thing I didn't pierce them for you then.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I don't care. I did that on purpose.
Right. I just, like I said, the arrogance of these people thinking your opinion matters at all in my world.
Look, if women dressed for men, they would walk around naked. So if there's for some reason a man overhearing this, they're not dressed for you.
No. And probably, I mean, I I've been married for 29 years. I'm not really trying to attract anybody. So, and my husband, I promise you, does not give a crap what I look like.
Right.
Mm-mm. He's like, I wake up in the morning. He's like, "Good morning, beautiful." I'm like, "Dear God, do you need glasses too, sweetie pie?"
I mean, my husband's the same way. I got like a belly that looks like a road map of China with all the stretch marks, and he's like, "Oh, you look so good." I'm like,
Well, just, I mean that. Yeah.
yeah,
So if
just
somebody insults your looks, it's probably because they don't have enough intelligence to say something
and
worthwhile.
if somebody insults your kids and you pop them in the face, just make sure nobody gets it on video so you can't be charged.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm not condoning
We're
violence.
not
Don't
condoning
hit
violence.
people,
Don't
but
hit people.
if you do, don't get caught.
And if uh, Norma Dane gives some really good advice if somebody's bullying your kid in Motherhood's a Blood Sport.
Yeah. So read the book when you can. All right. We're going to end this. We got weird.
We got so